To follow Jesus, no turning back, no turning back.
I seen Christ do it, Mike. I seen him take a man off of cocaine and then make him a preacher and make him a deacon at a church. I seen the gospel do that. I seen Christ do it, Mike. I seen him take a man off of cocaine and then make him a preacher and make him a deacon at a church.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh. Grandmama prayed on wooden floors, hands lifted high through broken doors. Daddy said, son, this world gon' test you, but every scar just helps refine you. We chasing gold, we chasing fame, but can you stand in heaven and say his name? 'Cause every lesson we learning now, somebody bled to teach us how. And I wonder, are we knocking on heaven's door, or dancing with the flames below? 'Cause everybody's shouting, Lord, Lord, but only truth gon' save your soul. Sunday, serve us. Feed the spirit, heal the broken among us. Ain't no halos without the struggle. Ain't no diamonds without the pressure. Sunday, serve us. Tell the truth even when it cuts us. 'Cause transparency is the testimony, and the pain became the glory. Yeah. Mama cried in the kitchen light, still thank God every single night. Bills piled high but face the taller. Sometimes heaven answers softer. See the streets taught anger and survival, but the word taught grace and revival. And every man carrying hidden shame still got a purpose tied to his name. What if earth ain't that far from heaven? Maybe this life is the proven section. Every heartbreak, every burden carried, preparing souls for eternal marriage. And I ask myself, when the trumpet sounds one day, will my spirit rise or fade away? 'Cause church clothes don't hide your chains, and God still sees behind the praise. Sunday, serve us. Feed the spirit, heal the broken among us. Ain't no halos without the struggle. Ain't no diamonds without the pressure. Sunday, serve us. Tell the truth even when it cuts us. 'Cause transparency is the testimony, and the pain became the glory. Can these dry bones live again? Can lost souls really find a win? Can a broken man still preach hope while fighting demons nobody knows? I've seen pastors cry in silence, strong men losing battles to violence, but God don't call the perfect people, he called the real.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Service. It's your boy, Brother Souls. Deacon Classic is not here today, but he will be back. I'm going to be carrying the show today for both channels, so you can catch us live right now on Souls of Thought and on Classic Code's channel as well for Sunday service. And today, guys, we got a thank piece for y'all this Sunday. It's going to be two videos that we show you guys today that we're going to be able to discuss. But as you see at the top of the screen, there's a quote strolling there from Frederick Douglass. The slave auctioneer's bell and the church going bell chime in with each other. One bell called people to worship, the other called human beings to be bought and sold. How could both ring the same society, and sometimes the same people answer both? Today we're asking a difficult question. Was the problem the Bible itself or the way people used it to justify slavery? Let's examine history, scripture, and evidence behind this. So, y'all, welcome to Sunday service with your brother Souls, and we're going to get into it today, guys. So, we got a good think piece. I'm calling this a think piece, not just a service, but a think piece. So, we're going to stroll right in to our first topic of today, why they taught us Christianity on the plantation. So here we go.
Back so much, so much. And I'm going to tell you why, because, okay, your God is your biggest thing to anybody, right? Whatever you want to call it, whatever religion you have, God is a big thing to everybody. It's everything, the crux of how you hear, what you believe in, your morals, your basis. God is, there's nothing that compares to people's belief in what God is. If you could be the voice of God, how much could you control a person? Right? So Christianity is white people being the voice of God for us. This is why you find black people who say, I'm just going to pray a little while longer. I'm going to wait on the Lord. I'm going to turn the other cheek. I'm going to pray for my enemies. Well, why you don't want to put your foot on their neck? Why you don't want to kill your enemy when they murdering you? Like, why do you want to pray for them? That makes no logical sense to me, because as a human being, your first instinct should be self-preservation and to do what you need to do to survive. The Bible has held us back so much, so much. And I'm going to tell you why, because, okay, your God is your biggest thing to anybody, right? Whatever you want to call it, whatever religion you have, God is a big thing to everybody. It's everything, the crux of how you hear, what you believe in, your morals, your basis. God is, there's nothing that compares to people's belief in what God is. If you could be the voice of God, how much could you control a person? Right? So Christianity is white people being the voice of God for us. This is why you find black people who say, I'm just going to pray a little while longer. I'm going to wait on the Lord. I'm going to turn the other cheek. I'm going to pray for my enemies. Well, why you don't want to put your foot on their neck? Why you don't want to kill your enemy when they murdering you? Like, why do you want to pray for them? That makes no logical sense to me, because as a human being, your first instinct should be self-preservation and to do what you need to do to survive. The Bible has held us back so much.
So you had heard it there. This actually was sent over by Deacon Classic earlier, probably about a couple weeks ago for Sunday service. So I wanted to get into this conversation today because I think it's a very powerful conversation, right? Because they say why they taught us Christianity on the plantation. But I think the bigger question today in 2026 is, why do people who look like us now continue to teach Christianity? Let me say that one more time. If this is how people feel, this is just a think piece, y'all. This is not me saying my thoughts. This is just what, from what I'm hearing here and the conversation we're going to have today on Sunday service is, if this is how some people think that Christianity was taught on the plantation to enslave us, to put us into situations where we feel that we have no control, why would people who look like us today want to teach us Christianity? And I appreciate everybody who's in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. That's the question. And I'm going to go over some historical scriptures in the Bible today that talks about things that kind of defended slavery. And then there's going to be some things that went against slavery once you get into the different parts of the Bible. So the first one was Ephesians chapter 6, verse 5 and 9. It says, slaves, obey your earthly masters with respect and fear, just as you would obey Christ. So again, in Ephesians, it's speaking about your earthly master, right? That could be your boss today. That could be someone who is in charge of you. That could be your parents. That could be anybody who you feel is your earthly master. And the biggest question I have today is, how did we go from the plantation to still being slaves that needed to obey their earthly masters? Did they start making our masters look like us to control us more easily, to manipulate the system, to manipulate the word? These are questions I have for you guys who are in the chat, the people who are coming in today. I really want to hear your thoughts on this, right? Because her first, that video that I just showed, her thoughts was focusing only on the white culture, right? But now it's not just the white culture speaking Christianity. It's people who look like us who are behind the pulpits, who are giving us earthly guidance. So I would love to hear what y'all thoughts are. What's up, my boy Sco? Always in the building. He said, "I don't have an earthly master. I own my own master because respect is earned, not given." I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Shout out to Rshell321. Uh, okay, awesome, awesome. She said, I'm assuming this is a female. She said, "We are under a new covenant through regard though regarding slavery, and also the Israelites are enslaved by the masses." Okay, okay. So you're saying the new covenant took this away. But when you go into, so I'm glad you're here, Arshel, because there's a scripture in the New Testament, which is supposed to be under the new covenant, that is First Peter chapter 2, verse 18, that says, "Slaves, in reverent fear of God, submit yourselves to your masters, not only to those who are good and considerate, but also to those who are harsh." Let me read that again. This is under the new covenant in the New Testament. Once we got out of the Old Testament, it says First Peter chapter 2, verse 18. You guys can go look this up if you like. It says, "Slaves, in reverent fear of God, submit yourselves to your masters, not only to those who are good and considerate, but also to those who are harsh." So even under the new covenant, those slaves are still having to consider harsh punishment. So those are the things, those are the things that we have to consider, right? Why this was taught. Shout out to Sojo. Y'all let him stay in here so he can talk. He said, in your bio, it says you're a black man. Why did you feel the need to say you're a black man when clearly you're a black man? So that you know, we appreciate you, brother. This is Sunday service. Thank you for chiming in. You should get a picture up there so people can know who you are. He says Jesus is more. He said Jesus is more of your identity, or black of your identity. Awesome, awesome, man. Y'all chat. Y'all can talk with Sojo, man. Y'all welcome Sojo in the chat. Shell said, "What would you consider to be modern day slave?" I think a modern day slave is now those individuals who are now mentally enslaved. If you go look at some of not some, if you go look at all of my content on my channel, I pretty much speak about modern day slavery every day, every night, Monday, Tuesday, sometimes on Friday nights on No Middleman, and also on Same Soil, Different Roots. I speak about modern slavery. I think modern slavery today is us being mentally enslaved, us not being willing to move forward, knowing that the narrative is the narrative, right? I'm big about people understanding that two things can be true, right? I talk about it a lot, especially in the African American society, right? We have moments that we know that we might be at a disadvantage, but we still choose to make decisions that are not wise. You know what I mean? So those are the things. Sko, go ahead and get Sojo out of here so he can go visit Lucifer. Appreciate you, Sojo. We appreciate that you've been able to come in and have a little bit of Sunday service. The devil is always busy. They say when you come in to speak, he's willing to steal, kill, and destroy. So we're going to destroy you in the chat today. But yeah, Shell, to answer your question and to continue to answer your question, the modern day slave is for those who are mentally enslaved, in my opinion. Those who have chains on their minds, those who fail to accept the narrative and move forward. That's my opinion. And I also feel this right here is our number one earthly master, the cell phone and social media. But everything that's evil can still have some good as well. Sko said Jesus is not real. Jesus was the first slave ship. So there you have it. But there's also oh, thank you, got you, great, thank you. I appreciate you being open to hear. That's what we're here for on Sunday service. If my boy Deacon Classic was here, you would love his thought process as well. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. But then there's also scriptures that lead us that are against slavery and oppression, right? So Galatians chapter 3, verse 28 says, there is neither Jew nor Greek, slave nor free, for all are one in Christ Jesus. There are some other ones in Exodus in the Old Testament says, Exodus chapter 3, verse 7 through 8, God hears the cries of the Israelites in slavery and acts to deliver them from bondage. So I think this was kind of what R. Shell was speaking about when it came to the Israelites in slavery and acts to deliver them from bondage. And then you go on to Luke chapter 4, verse 18. It says, he has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners, to set the oppressed free. So shout out, man. We're getting a lot of new people in here. Make sure you hit it. My boy name is Toilet Brush. He said the Bible condones slavery, violence, and genocide. It all depends how you interpret things, sir. It all depends on how you interpret it. I think no one can condone anything now but ourselves. I feel the Bible is just a guide for those who need guidance. But I think everything that is condoned by us. We have total control over every decision, every outcome that happens. For the most part, we control those outcomes. Just as I mentioned, from Ms. Shell asked about what is modern slavery, right? I feel this again, it's our chains and our minds being mentally chained, feeling that these things exist. And I feel like once we accept the things that we know exist, we can move forward and do things accordingly. As Plug would say, act wise, choose wisely and act accordingly. Also, a couple more that also go through defending or going against slavery and oppression. James chapter 2, verse 1 through 9, it condemns favoritism and partiality. Exodus 21 and 16, whoever steals a man and sells him shall be put to death. This verse was frequently cited by people who was in opposition to the transatlantic slave trade. So there's a lot there. Shout out to Rick Chappelle. Shout out to you. Welcome in, sir. He said, we're not under the law, but grace. For if righteousness came the law, then Christ died needed. So let me ask you a question, Rick, because I read, and this is why we're here, right? I'm not saying I'm a scholar and an expert on everything, so you might have some insight. If this is true, why does it still speak of slavery and obeying your master, even when you get to 1 Peter chapter 2 in the New Testament? It speaks about slaves in reverent fear of God. Submit yourselves to your masters, not only to those who are good and considerate, but also to those who are harsh. Why would it still want individuals to do that if we're not under the law and we're under grace? And also, we must remember, I always tell people this, you can't read a book and diminish what you have read. Just because the Old Testament just because the law is in the Old Testament doesn't mean we still don't live by those commandments. Because if you live by those commandments, it don't matter if you didn't read any more of the Bible, you will be a better person today than most people. So I think that is something we really have to be very careful with when we say we are always under the law. The 12 commandments are great laws. Those laws aren't anything negative. Do not commit adultery. Treat your neighbor as you would like to treat yourself. Love those who love. Like all those commandments are great commandments. Like, why wouldn't we want to be under that law? I think the Mosaic law was more fundamental and more foundational than being under grace. Because to me, grace became a way for people to have excuses to do evil things that they do now. That's just my opinion, though. But I'm open. I'm open to conversation. Shout out to Can't Say That, I Ain't Gonna Mess It Up. He said, beware the day of Allah will say, oh, Jesus, son of Mary, did you tell people to take you as God besides Allah? He will say, exalted are you was not for me to say which I have no right. Quran. Okay, you coming from the Quran, man. Welcome in, brother. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Appreciate you bringing some word with you. Appreciate you. Like Soft Rain said, hit that like button. It's the way when you open the door. Come on in, hit that like button. Petty Roosevelt, I like your name. I like your name, big dog. He said John 14 and 15, King James Version. If he loved me, keep my commandments. Thank you. Okay. Petty came in. Petty came in. Real talk. See, Petty, we on the same page. I agree. I agree. That's why I said, Petty, I don't think you can take away the Old Testament just to make you feel better. I think people have to understand. I appreciate you coming in with that word from the New Testament. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Petty Roosevelt said, "For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth passes, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from this law till it all be fulfilled." Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Petty Roosevelt, coming in with that word. Rain said, hit that like and subscribe button on the way in the door. Make sure before you sit down, you pass that offering plate too. Super chats are open if you want to support. Shell said, I like a great debate. Do you know how many Jewish laws there were? Jesus shedding blood simplified everything. I do not, but I can find it very quickly for you. That's what makes it so amazing to have these buttons. Jewish laws. How many? The Jewish. Oh, look at Petty on it. Petty on it. Petty 613 laws, statutes, and commandments. Tell them, Petty. Petty on it. Appreciate you, Petty, being here today, man. It's a blessing to have you in the chat. She said over 300, if not mistaken. Yeah, Petty said it, but it is 613 laws included. 248 are positive commandments and 365 are negative commandments. And it's funny how 365 is the number of days we have in a year. Those are the you shall not. So we have a law for every day of the year that you can say you shall not do this. Think about that, guys. Numbers are powerful. Everything has a meaning. I think it's very amazing to have this conversation today. So that was just our first topic. Again, this is a think piece today. Petty Roosevelt, since you just got here, what we were speaking about earlier was actually why did they teach us Christianity on the plantation? And why do now people who look like us, right, still teach Christianity? And this is not to battle against Christianity. These are just questions that some people might have who are curious about their walk with God or their walk with faith, right? Because I feel like we don't have open space to ask questions a lot. And that's what we do here at Sunday service with myself and Deacon Classic, who's not here today at the moment. Petty Roosevelt said, updates to love the Lord and love your neighbor. And if you follow both, you won't break any commandment. That's what I said, Petty. I think if you keep the commandments, you live in a good life. You live in a good life. Appreciate you. Good morning, Miles. Welcome in, big dog. Welcome in. Welcome in. So shout out to everybody on that first segment. This is going to be our second segment and our final topic of today. It's going to be coming from Pastor Anthony Mitchell. Pastor Anthony Mitchell is someone who some people might call controversial. Some people might have their own thoughts about him. But he talks about sweet slavery, right? And this is kind of the theme of today, talking about Christianity, talking about how this was used. And so we're going to play this video. I'm going to read this real quick, and then we're going to get to the video. Petty said in 1804, the Commonwealth Bible erased a lot of scriptures given to the slaves, but the scriptures predated the transatlantic slave trade. It sure did. It sure did, brother. So we're going to hear this. So we're going to play this and we're going to get back to this conversation. Appreciate everybody here, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe as well.
Slavery. I'm doing this out of obedience. This is a cross that I carry. It is heavy and weighty and it crushes me. You really think I'm up here for glory? I wanted to be an attorney. The Lord closed that door, a cross. I wanted to be an evangelist. The Lord said, no, a cross. The cross beam on your shoulder is the weight of sacrifice. Where there is a cross, there is pressure on my flesh. So if I'm carrying my cross, that means there is sacrifice in my life. There is holiness that makes me uncomfortable. The Lord called me to pastor a church, and I said, no, I don't want to prepare a sermon every single week of my life. I don't want to be making an oral presentation every single week, no matter what's going on in my life. I don't want to be leading meetings every single week of my life. I don't want to be coaching, correcting, and counseling people every single week of my life. I don't want to live in a fishbowl where everybody can see what my family's doing every single day of my life. I don't want to have the pressure of hundreds and thousands of souls weighing down on me at night, every single night of my life. This thing has broken me, has made me feel more insecure than anything else in my life, has crushed my pride, my arrogance, keeps me on my knees, makes me desperate for Jesus. I feel insecure all the time. I feel ill-equipped all the time. I did not want to do this. I ran from this call for 4 years. I remember where I was when I got down on my knees in the back of that service and Lord, I don't want to do that, but if this is what you want me to do, I'll carry that cross. Ain't none of this for me, glory. I'm doing this out of obedience to Christ. My whole life is a cross. What are you carrying? What are you fully surrendered to? Where is your cross? Your cross may be you're a single mom, and the Lord says you're going to raise these children alone till I send a Boaz, and I'm not going to tell you when he's coming. Can you carry that cross? Some of you might die single. Can you carry that cross? For some of you, you'll never make a certain amount of money. Can you carry that cross? How about fast from sin for the last couple months of the year? How about that as a cross? How about no more sex for the rest of the year? How about that as a cross? How about actually live like a disciple for the rest of the year? How about pray? How about fast from sin? You ain't see Ruth fasting for no husband. You see Ruth being faithful, and God sent her a husband. It's okay to fast for an open door, but some of y'all turn that into idolatry. Seek first the kingdom, and all these other things I will add them to you. Keep me first. You single, keep me first. You got a job, keep me first. You got a business, keep me first. You got friends, keep me first. You got a spouse, keep me first. You got children, keep me first. Pastoral ministry for me is sweet slavery.
So there you have it. That was Pastor Anthony Mitchell. For those who know, he's a very viral preacher. Some of his words are sound, some could be controversial, but that's all to your opinion. With that being said, what is y'all thoughts on this? I seen the chat was going up. I thought it was very unique. I think what he was ultimately saying is that you have to take up your cross daily, right? You have to carry that. You have to move forward with that. You have to do all those things that you have to do. And some of those sacrifices might not be sacrifices that we are really comfortable doing, or things that might not seem popular, right? He said maybe you're going to be single your whole life. Maybe you have to fast to cut certain things out. Like, he goes into a lot of that. But at the very beginning, it sounded like he was very not happy about it, right? But then you started to see him build up to it, speaking about it. And he said it's sweet slavery. And the reason why I wanted to play this today, because words are powerful, right? Because slavery isn't sweet for everyone. How do we make these things feel more comfortable for people to intake information, for us to be able to move forward? I'm going to get to some of the chats before I finish my thoughts this afternoon. Mr. John is back, said there are over 18,000 gods known in the history of mankind. Not a single one of them has shown up anywhere for anything at any time. He said, are you getting played? It's by the oldest. Yeah. So we'll see, y'all. I'm going to play a little music. I have to put my charger in before the laptop goes. So let me play a little music for y'all, and I will be right back, okay?
Hands lifted high through broken doors. Daddy said, son, this world gon' test you, but every scar just helps refine you. We chasing gold, we chasing fame, But can you stand in heaven and say his name? 'Cause every lesson we learning now, somebody bled to teach us how. And I wonder, are we knocking on heaven's door? Or dancing with the flames below? 'Cause everybody's shouting, Lord, Lord, but only truth gon' save your soul. Sunday service.
All right. Thank y'all for your patience. Thank you for staying tuned. Had to keep the engine lit up. So as we were just reading Mr. John's comment, he said, man, if there's so many guys, man, none of them have came through and came back at any time. I hear that a lot, Mr. John. Appreciate your comment. Sco said, who is God and or Jesus Christ? And why hasn't he come back yet? I thought he was the rose green days later. Sco said the same thing. What's up, Time? Welcome in, Time. Time says Sunday blessing souls in the chat family. Have a peaceful Sunday. Always keep God first and yourself closer. Appreciate you. Rain's keeping up with the chat. Thank you, ma'am. Miles says slaves were taught New Testament, I think. Uh, a lot of the scriptures, Miles, that I spoke about earlier actually came from a little bit of a combination. You had some in Genesis, you had some in Ephesians, you had some in First Peter, then you also had some in Titus. But the one that a lot of people heard a lot of was Ephesians chapter 6, verse 5 through 9. Says, slaves, obey your earthly masters with respect and fear, just as you would obey Christ. So yeah. So there we go here. Uh Tom said, is that International Sunday Blessings family, I think. Let's see here. Shell said, if he feels that way, sounds like the ministry is not his calling unless he's going somewhere with that. Okay. And I think you called it later. She said, oh, okay. She said, okay, I'm with them now. Okay. Yeah. At first, that's what I said. That's why I always tell people clips and things of that nature are very important, that you watch the whole thing or go back and watch like the whole videos, because the first 150 characters could psych you up. What's up, Yay? We got our young YN in the building. 333. What's up, Yay? Appreciate you, big dog. Rain said, if this is your first time on Sunday service, hit the subscribe. You found your people. Appreciate you, Rain. Appreciate you, ma'am. Tom said, I'll give up everybody's music. I will pray to the Lord every day that classic music has to stay on my playlist. Everybody else can go. Will bear that cross. I would definitely have to pray about it. Couldn't give it up. Couldn't give it up, Ty. What's up, Mario? Mario in the building. Happy Sunday, ma'am. Happy Sunday. Let's see here. Rain said, if it's your first time on Sunday service, hit the like button. You found your people. Uh, uh, Hoodoo and Louisiana Voodoo said the Bible was forced on our enslaved ancestors by Europeans. The Bible isn't our culture. Okay. So I wish you was in here earlier. I don't know if you're still here. So this is the question I have for you. Why do people of your culture or our culture still teach these words today? Because I think that that's the bigger question I have, right? Because again, this is a think piece for Sunday service. This is not me debating or arguing. Everybody can be right in their own way. I'm not here to go back and forth. I'm here to ask the question that if this is how we felt, why do we still choose to be behind majority of the pulpits today? Why do we speak to our culture more? Why do we tell them close the doors? We stick them in church to make sure they pay their $1,000. You know what I mean? Like Marvin Sapp did. Like why do we put ourselves in this situation that still puts our people into oppression? Because these are these are the thoughts that we have to have, right? For those who don't believe in it. So these are the questions. Sco said, what's good, Tom? Supermax said, if a display of humanity requires anything outward to happen, I'll pass. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. I'm gonna make sure I show your message. Who do they were trying to block it? Um, go. So let's see here. I wanted to make sure it got up there. So post-traumatic slave syndrome disorder is the reason African Americans still practice Christianity. So what should they practice? If they don't practice Christianity, what should they practice? Like what was created for the African Americans? This is a great conversation. Thank you for coming in as well. Make sure you hit the like button. I think you'll like a lot of the pieces we do every week. We talk about a lot of different things, but most of this is all think pieces, right? I'm not here to debate the Bible or debate people's belief or what your religion is. I'm here to hear people have their thoughts and actually go through a conversation, right? Because I always been comfortable asking the uncomfortable questions, right? Even when it came to like pastors, if I got around a pastor, I'm gonna ask the hard question. If things didn't make sense to me, I'm gonna ask that question. So this is a great conversation right now. Miles said it only takes a few generations of indoctrination to make people forget. I feel you. I feel you. Tom said whether the slaves whether the slaves were supposed to be enslaved, if that's a cross to stand on, they did so much better than us souls. To be somewhere people had control over you, but they held that cross. I agree. I agree with you, Tom. I agree with you. I actually have heard people say that. Think about this: in during slavery, the Jim Crow, all those eras of our societies, we had more nuclear black families in the roughest moments than we do now. Think about that, y'all. We have more married couples and nuclear families in some of the darkest times of history than we do now. When we have all the freedoms in the world, we choose not to choose family. It's a very unique topic. Very unique topic. Mario says, "Are those questions? That's why I don't believe in organized religion, and I believe that if we get into our violent just study on our own, we really can grasp what it's trying to say." Yes, I'm a big component, Mary, of people reading the word for themselves. I tell people all the time, and a lot of people, I have had some people disagree, and I have some people who understand. I always tell people when you read the New Testament, right? When you're reading the New Testament, all those individuals have the same ending, right? They all tell you the ending, but they all had little tweaks in their story that didn't line up to the next person's story, right? But it all ended the same. And I think that's what the Bible was built for, right? That Bible was built for those who needed a guide to be able to read, to have a foundational understanding, and you find your own message within the message. That's my opinion. And I feel if we allow more people to be free thinkers and learn and ask questions, maybe we can get people in the right directions or in the right seats on the bus, as I would say. Supermax said, the free to easy anytime. Wish I was here from the beginning. Oh, you good, Superman. I already know you're gonna catch it on the rewatch. Appreciate your support, man. I really do. I really do. Appreciate you, Superman. Petty Roosevelt, thank you for staying in, brother. He said most people are looking for God, but find themselves in 501c3 build. Oh man, don't do it to him, Petty. Don't do it to him. Hey, Petty. You want to have that conversation now. You know who they following now. They following in the, TD Jakes. That's what they talk about, these 501c buildings. They talk about, and for those who don't know what Petty's talking about, he's talking about nonprofits and people who are trying to profit off the poor and create all these different, I agree with you there. We're getting somewhere. It's out there, as Classic would say. It's out there. It's already out there. Oh my God, man, y'all! Hey, Deacon Classic about to step in the building, y'all. Shell said Jesus loves and saves Jews and Gentiles alike. I don't think it should be about race. It should be about love. Yeah. Shell, for it to be about love, we would have to get back to those commandments. We would have to get back to under the law, because the law is where that love existed. And I think that's the struggle too. Everybody's starting the book where they want to start the book. They're not reading from the beginning. Tom said, I thought being a Christian was love thy neighbor, not burn your church or hang. Oh, okay. 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 Tom came in hot. Uh, oh no, you good, Mary. I got you. I got you. Hey, your talk text better than I'll pronounce it. So no problem. You good. You good. International Scope said we shouldn't practice anything or go by the Quran. Okay. Petty Roosevelt said bloodline is bloodline and religion is religion. Can you explain that a little bit more, Petty? Can you explain that a little bit more for everybody? Since we're having a conversation. Shout out to Hoodoo still in the building. Appreciate you. Hoodoo and Louisiana Voodoo are it's that ethno religions that were created by African Americans. That is what I recommend African Americans practice. We should preserve our own culture. Deacon Classic will be in the building soon. I'm gonna start that because I know he talks about that sometimes. So it's gonna definitely be a great topic. So let's welcome Deacon Classic to the building. Deacon Classic is in the building, y'all. He's in the building, man. My boy been up with some of the greatest content ever for boxing. I know we're talking about the word right now on Sunday service, but if y'all want to go catch Classic Code at Classic Code Sports, man, great commentary. As I tell everybody, if you don't know anything about boxing, I'll give you 15 to 30 minutes of his channel. You'll feel like you have been watching boxing your whole life. He breaks it down. So appreciate Deacon Classic, man. We're just doing a little think piece today, Deacon Classic. It's actually the video you sent on TikTok when the lady was speaking about why Christianity was taught on the plantation was the first topic. And this last topic was just Pastor Anthony talking about sweet slavery. So now we just having a very good dialogue with the chat, man. Only had one crazy person come in today, Classic. So it's been a good morning, sir. But I do want you to speak on this, Classic, because you spoke about this before. So shout out to Hoodoo and Louisiana Voodoo. They said Hoodoo and Louisiana Voodoo were ethno religions that were created by African Americans. That is what I recommend African Americans practice. We should preserve our own culture. And I think you spoke about this on one of your night lives when you were talking about kind of like conspiracies and different things. Do you have any information about that when it comes to like what they're speaking about right there?
Yeah. So first off, I was gonna say, what up, chat? What's going on, chat? What up? What up, Stones? What up?
What's up, man?
Yeah. No. So hoodoo and voodoo aren't considered religions. But they are spiritual practices. So that fundamentally, I would disagree that they're religions. So that's one thing. But I do think that they're spiritual practices that Black folks they've been vilified strategically to keep Black folks from their power. Anything that's powerful in a good or bad way, they just vilify the tool altogether. So we stop using the tool, right? Or not even vilify, they demonize it, right? They make it evil. Oh, that's satanic. Oh, that's of the devil. Oh, that's this, that, and the third, because they don't want you to use it. Like I gave y'all the analogy before. How do you go to war with the spiritual people, right? Because they could try all the propaganda in the world. All it takes is a couple powerful witches sitting in a circle on the same accord. They, what I mean? They can get a whole government system, warts or a plague or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like they can, what I mean? Like if they really wanted to, they could AT&T reach out and touch you long range. You know what I mean? The BS that you on don't work no more if we get back to our spiritual roots and using our tools. So when they demonize these things, they make you feel like the use of it altogether, no matter what your intentions are, is demonic. So now you have all these people who have power that they can tap into that they don't want to tap into because they believe that somehow they'll burn in hell or, it's not of God or whatever. But going through oppression and slavery, that's of God, right? It's the suffering of a Christian in accordance to the book of Corinthians, right? So come down here and go through it and struggle and obey thy master. You know what I'm saying? It's all in there. It's already out there. It's in there. So obey thy master. All of that stuff is in the word, right? So they tell you that instead of, you know what I'm saying, tap in. Because here's the thing. what we call hoodoo and voodoo, you could very well say Jesus used it. You could say it. They didn't give it a name, but you could say he practiced it, right? What you think it is when you walk up to somebody with leprosy and wipe it off? Today, if you did that, they would call it black magic, or they would call it something. They would call it something demonic, and they would make you seem like something's wrong with you, so that you're publicly vilified, and a whole legion of people don't get behind you. You know what I'm saying? And learn what you do, right? Because then it would be a problem. Right, look, Miles said we call it dermatology. Yeah, now.
Hey, right? I'm telling y'all, man, you came in at the perfect time. You came in, I was like, this is perfect. This is perfect timing, man. This is perfect timing. And I also spoke on too, because my main question for the chat to this morning was, if Christianity was taught to keep people enslaved, why is it so many of us now still teaching this same Christianity? Like there's more black people behind pulpits than ever today. Like it's, and then Teddy Roosevelt is in here. You will like some of his comments. He said, people are looking at it. It's a 501c building now, not a church. You know what I mean? Like everything's about the profit. You know what I mean? And not the profit. You know what I mean? So that's a good conversation today. Mario said, and we have to read the Bible in its correct chronological order, because it is not correct right now. We talk about that on Sunday service a lot. Myself and Deacon Cloud, we talk about a lot of the books that are missing. There's a lot that people need to go and invest in on themselves. I would highly say invest in a concordance too while you're reading. Tom says, so we are more together. We were more together of the community. We stuck together. We looked out for each other. But once the free world became free world, we now twerking in Walmart and become pimps and tricks. Yeah. Classic. I was speaking about, there was an individual who spoke about that during some of the roughest times in history, which were slavery, Jim Crow, blacks still had the largest numbers of black families in marriage. Like our marriage rate was higher in the midst of slavery and all these other bad moments of history, and now it's the lowest for us. So we spoke about a little bit about that too. Okay, see, Classic. See, they waiting for you, boy. Richard waiting on you. Richard said, I want to ask Classic this. I can't speak for other states, but I think I got the exact reason why Chicagoans aren't fanned out. Oh no.
Okay, well, ask me. You got to give me the question, Richard. What's up?
He's waiting on you. He's waiting on you.
What's your theory?
He said Petty got the stick in the chat. Yeah, Petty getting it, Super Matt. Petty on it. Petty Roosevelt is getting it. Roxy said, hey, blessed people. I hope y'all are thriving today. Stay blessed and stay safe. Appreciate you, Roxy, for tuning in. Here go the question. Richard said, ask because it's in his age range. And when it started to, he's asking, the question is, why are the Chicagoans fanning out? He said it because it's kind of started in your generation or age range.
Wait, go back to his original statement. Did he say we are fanned out or we aren't fanned out or we are not? Fanned out. I don't know the reason why. We just don't get overly charged up on nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, we might have like reverence for you, you know what I'm saying? But if you start tweaking or overdoing it, you know what I'm saying, we'll remind you like, boy, who the fuck you think you is? Sorry, Sunday, it's Sunday service. But we will though, like quick, like who, like, all right, bro, like, you know, we got love for you, but you're doing too much. You feel me? Like we will bring you back down to earth. You know what I'm saying? Quick. I don't know why it's like that here. We don't like, it's the same thing with like the hood and stuff like that. Like you go to some places, if you know the right person, you could talk to them, they could put a call out and make sure that you relatively okay or whatever. Like ain't none of that in Chicago. It ain't nobody you could call that's gonna call somebody and make sure you good. You just as in danger as everybody else. Ain't no I'm good where I'm at. I checked in. Ain't no checking in. That whoever you called to check in, they can't check in. So it ain't no. So it ain't no. Yeah, bro. It just is what it is. I don't know the reason why. To be honest with you, I have no reason. But I don't know that to be a generational thing either. Like my pops like that. So you know what I'm saying? Like my pops hate Michael Jordan. My pops don't like Michael Jordan at all.
Oh, wow.
At all. At all. Not even a little. You bring up Mike, he be like, man, that mother man. he all
Wow,
that.
that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Next level, MF said the creation of religion will be to control and profitable. Constantine. Yeah. And hey, sounds a lot of truth there. 333 Skull said, welcome in, classic. Supermax said, D classics. What's up?
Yo.
What's up? Shell said, might I ask, isn't voodoo the same as idols?
Might I ask, isn't voodoo the same as idols? Hold on, stay right there real quick. So,
okay.
Legitimate voodoo is a legitimate structured religion originating from West African. So they saying voodoo is an actual organized religion. Hoodoo is not a religion. So they saying voodoo is a West African traditional belief system, and the Fon and U people of the Fon and U people. So I wonder what part of that. Oh, that's West Africa. Africa's so big too. That's the thing. We gotta stop talking about Africa like it's like it's Pennsylvania or something. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Structure is the polytheistic and involves a system of deities, priests, and organized rituals to connect with the spirit world. Okay, so it believes in a almost like a religious council. And what was the question? Might I ask, isn't voodoo the same thing as idols? If voodoo is idols, Christianity is too. That's my response. Because I think Christianity. I've already covered this, but I'll do it again for you. Is Christianity fundamentally by definition is idolatry. To be a Christian is to be an idolater. And I'll tell you why, because we always say words matter here. So it's not to offend nobody, but the definition of idolatry is the worship of a physical object, image, or statue as if it were a god. In a broader figurative sense, it means having an excessive, uncritical devotion or attachment to any person, idea, or material possession. One could argue, right? One could argue that if Mary was lying, if she was lying and she actually did take some penis, the whole story of Jesus makes y'all idolaters. Because if Mary actually did get hit and Jesus wasn't born of immaculate conception or angel sperm or whatever they're trying to say, then that means that y'all just looking up to a man who had great influence. Essentially, y'all worshiping ancient Martin Luther King. Essentially, that would be the case. If just one lie was told, just one lie changes the whole Bible. If Mary was lying, that's it. And we don't know. Because I know today, if a chick turned up pregnant while her husband gone and she say it was the angel that did it, nobody's gonna believe her. I know today, and it don't matter who she is, Mary, Rebecca, Samantha, Ashley, Jordan, whatever her name is, it don't matter who she is. If her husband gone and he come back and find her pregnant and she like, it was the great angel Gabriel or Michael came down here and whispered into me and I was pregnant with the Lord's child, nobody's gonna believe her. So, but y'all can take Mary's word for it. But I'm letting you know, James in the building. Yup, it's that time.
Yeah. He missed a lot. He probably would argue about them. But the biggest thing is we need to talk about that next Sunday, because I would love to hear how people feel about if you took the miracles of the Bible and seen the miracles of today in today's time, would y'all accept it? Or would you call that person a liar?
It's a great question.
Like we're gonna talk next week. We're gonna pose that question, y'all. So y'all keep that in the back pocket. Next level said hoodoo and voodoo is traditional and culture, but people tend to make it religious, in my opinion. Yeah, that's kind of what when Classic talked about it earlier. Voodoo is practiced by no African Americans. Those are the first Black people that came over that are Haitians. Look up Chicago, look up New Orleans, Miami. Haiti belongs to Haiti. Remember this day. Okay. He's going to look that up for sure. Religion instills fear. Spirituality instills power. You will love this station, this channel, boss man. Stay tuned in here. This is what we talk about on Sunday service in these think pieces. That's literally what we talk about. The spirituality does instill power for sure. Um, dermatology, he said classic. Science, he said classic. My feet was in the fire. I said I will give up everybody's music, even classic R&B. I would have to take a talk with the Lord about classic music. I can't give it up that easy. He said he can't carry that cross. That's what he said earlier.
I feel you, dog.
Here go Petty Roosevelt. You'll like him, classic. Petty said indigenous people, black, were here long before it was reclassified as America.
Yeah.
Merrick, because that's where the money is at. Souls, I appreciate it. You right, Sco. Mario said you have to read the Bible in Hebrew to truly understand what it said. That could be a little debatable. The only good thing about tithing is tax deduction. Y'all were cooking in here, man. What's up, Ron Coleman? Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. He said read King James Version 1611 with the Apocrypha. Okay. Have to find that. That's because a lot of these women and men are 304s and they want to sleep around. Facts. But I'm good in the hood, especially out west. He says, seriously, I just looked at the power of words. Remember, if a guy praised another guy, someone says that man get off his. Yep, that's true. Remember, you first heard that every instance became detached.
Yeah, Jesus is the only person amongst black people to this very day that is okay to revere in public. As a man, you can revere Jesus all you want. Ain't nobody gonna tell you to stop sack riding. But if you show love to somebody you actually know and met and standing next to and can hug and can call, you D-riding, you sack chase, you doing too much, you glazing, you doing all this. But because here's the truth, I have no beef with Yahshua, right? Black Jesus that they be talking about. But white Jesus, me and him got to catch one. You know what I'm saying? I need my fade. But here's the thing, because white Jesus done a lot of damage to my people, and my people don't even know it. But I'm gonna catch the fade on their behalf. They don't got to know. But it's one of them things where it's like you know, as soon as you bring up Jesus, all is forgiven. You allowed to be gay for Jesus. If you're a man, you could date Jesus, right? Jesus is the only guy that is the exception to every single rule, bro. You know what I'm saying? As a man, you could say right now, I'm dating the Lord, and nobody gonna call you homosexual. I am. But nobody else is gonna call you a homosexual if you say I'm dating Jesus. I'm gonna say you gay, for sure. I'm gonna tell you to your face too, so you know it's real. I ain't gonna talk behind your back. Oh, this dude a little sweet. Now that's sweet, bro. If you say you in a relationship with Jesus, not God, Jesus, that was a dude. He had a penis and everything. You tweaking, yeah, you tweaking. So, yeah, he said that part you said right.
You said right.
No, don't agree now, James. Come on with that smoke. Come on with that smoke. No, don't agree now. We've been waiting a month of Sundays, literally.
He's talking about the white. He's talking about the white Jesus. Now you separate Jesus.
No, don't separate him,
Jay. Jay. Yeah. James, we know your book. We know your book.
That's one of your books. Yeah.
Oh man. Petty Roosevelt said Joseph and Mary both came from the line of David. That was prophesied that the Son of Man will come through the lineage. Joseph cracked Mary, and Yahshua was born. Hey, Petty agreeing with you, Clyde. He said, "Hey, they cracked." Period.
Because hey, look, technically, back then, marriage was intercourse. So for us to even call Mary his wife, he had to be hidden. If she was a virgin, she wasn't nobody's wife, because marriage was sex. You see how they playing with us? They playing with us. Am I wrong, souls? Correct me, please. Wasn't marriage consummated by sex in the Bible in those times? So if you took up that woman physically, that was your wife, right? If you had not taken up her, she was still single until married. Am I tweaking?
No.
Ain't no married virgins in the Bible. So how you married and a virgin? So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Jesus got here like the rest of us. A nut was bust. And that's what I've always believed. And that's why I never put too much gas on bro. I always looked at him like Malcolm X or Martin Luther King of his time. Just super influential. super lit out here. You know what I'm saying? Farrakhan, if you will. Just,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Black leader. That's all Moses. Same thing. I don't look at him differently. I'm not Muslim or nothing, but I just don't look at him differently because I don't have any proof of that. You can't tell me to base my whole existence and everything I'm gonna operate off of inside of worshiping a dude that I can't meet, bro. You just can't do that for me. I'd rather believe in my daddy. I can hug him, talk to him, call him. You feel me? Like, oh, you could talk to Jesus. Yeah, he don't talk back, not in English. Yeah, straight like that, though. If I call my dad and ask for advice, my dad gonna say, well, son, and he gonna tell me something I can understand, and I'm gonna be able to take that and do what I want with it. You pray to Jesus, you gotta wait for a sign, a signal, a symbol. He gotta send a message through souls, and I gotta be able to discern whether or not it was the Lord talking to me through souls instead of the Lord just hollering at me direct. Like, it's too complicated, bro. I like people I could call and get answers, bro. They got a number, 10 digits. I could just dial in. You feel me? I don't want to play these games. That's just me. I believe in God, but I don't believe in God on answering what I got going on in my human experience. They say we are living, they say we are gods, right? We are made in his image and likeness. I like this breakdown. So let me cook real quick. I seen this brother break it down like this. He said, I am not God, I am a God. He said, if an animal is made in an image and likeness of a turtle, you're going to call it a turtle. If you see an animal made in the image and likeness of a dog, you will call it a dog. You got a bunch of different types of dogs, but they're all a dog. They're not the dog, they're a dog. So if I'm made in the image and likeness of God, that makes me a God. I am of that species. Am I the God? No, the God can create at the level of galaxies and universes and worlds, right? Me as a God, I can create at the level of other human beings and architecture and you know what I'm saying, take my thoughts and make things. But can I do it at the level of universes and galaxies? Well, we'll never know. Our power has been suppressed at every turn, at every turn. But God ultimately is creation, is it not? How does the Bible start? How does the Bible start? In the beginning, it was nothing.
There was nothing. Yeah.
And then God started making stuff.
That's true.
God, they say God is love. I would say God is creation. How does the Bible start? It don't start with love. It starts with creation. There's nothing to love. There's nothing to love. After God created the world, then it said God so loved the world. After he made it. But before that,
it actually started with sacrifice.
Come on, souls.
Yeah, actually, because y'all got to remember,
James quiet now.
Adam had to sacrifice. He had to put him to sleep to create woman. It actually started with sacrifice.
God, and another
it started with sacrifice. Then we had betrayal. We didn't get love for a hot minute.
Disobedience.
Yeah, we learned a lot of negative things. Oh, I read something, Classy. You would really appreciate this, man. It said it was 300 because they were asking about the commandments. There is actually 365 negative commandments, dog. How many days are there in a year?
365.
I told him it's something negative you can do every day. Think about that, dog. Words and numbers are powerful. That's not a coincidence.
Yeah.
Out of 613, 365 of them were things that we shall not do.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Do you think that the so-called powers that be, or the progenitors of the propaganda that we receive today, do you think they will be more or less threatened if people became spiritually awake and moved away from religion? Do you think they will feel more or less threatened?
More threatened.
More threatened. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
So everybody tap dancing today, giving up 10% they can't afford and spinning in circles and running around, you know what I'm saying, and shouting and shucking and jiving and everything. Just understand there's a reason for that. As long as you stay in the church, they gonna stay in control. It's a reason for that. And it ain't because God ain't real. That's not the reason. God real. But
that's what I was telling them, Classic. I was telling them here, like, these are think pieces that me and Deacon Classic put out. We're not here to we're not saying that things aren't true. We're just telling people that if you use this word for more than a guide, you might not. You're gonna have a lot of questions, or you're just gonna be living in a lot of denial. Like there's two areas here. You know what I mean? And that's why I say just use it as a guide. And it's all there. You know what I mean? I tell people about Habakkuk chapter 2 all the time because I think it's something that the words we hear all the time about manifestation it's in the word, right? So like if you feel like the word is your guide and you only can take it from the word, well, I'll show you where he talks about manifestation, but it's no different than the person you're calling woke who is saying that they went outside and manifested, like, or they went outside and meditated. Like these things are in the Bible, like, and I think that's what we have. We have a clash of words instead of a clash of like actual knowledge. Like the word says everything that you say, and the woke person is saying that you now despise.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I like what Next Level said. He said, could there be more Jesuses, or could people have the ability to get their Christ consciousness? Christ equals Christos. And yeah, I think they're not, can there be? There was Jesuses before Jesus. Like I tell people all the time, Jesus not even in my top 5 prophets in the Bible. He not even top 5. As far as like figures in the Bible, Jesus not even in my top 5, bro. Bro, keep it a stack. If Moses and Jesus was running the earth at the same time, this Moses shit, I ain't gonna hold you. If Moses and Jesus was running around at the same time, like only Jesus got lit because Moses wasn't here. Be clear. You know what I'm saying? And John the Baptist had it, and John the Baptist had this joint popping before Jesus did. He really handed that over because they got down on John. John was too woke. It's not crazy work. James, tell me one thing I have said today that ain't scriptural. That's all I want. Book, chapter, and verse. Me, James. Hey, we could drop the link for James. I want book, chapter, and verse.
You know, James.
I want to have a conversation from the word. Because what happens is you start talking about the word from the word, and people start telling you how they feel. Don't tell me how I feel. How you feel? Just come straight out the word with it. I haven't said one thing wrong. In the Bible, it do say Joseph went away and returned to find Mary pregnant. It also say in there that Joseph was skeptical, and the angel had to come talk to him. Because Joseph wasn't believing that. Talking about the angel hit that. No, somebody else hit that. And I need to know.
And I think this is what hurts our world. Not hurt it, but Plug said Jesus couldn't have been white. And I think 2 things could be true here, right? For people, again, like Classic, myself, we have traveled the globe.
Yes.
If you are basing things on color, maybe he couldn't have been white, or maybe he could have been a white guy who was highly tanned, bronze skin. Like we don't know. Like we really don't know. Just because they have hair or wool, there are some white folks out there who got woolly hair too. Yeah. Like there are so many different. I think we try to like be so correct, and it's just like, hey, whatever Jesus looks like to you, that's cool. If you go to somebody's house, they got a black Jesus on the wall, that's what they feel Jesus looks like. If you go to a white person's house, they have a white Jesus on the wall, that's what they feel he looks like. But we don't know. We don't know. None of us have met Jesus.
True indeed. Hey, can you please go to Devereaux Mathis? I want to respond to Devereaux. Devereaux said one is a murderer.
Which one would you like?
He said one is a murderer and one was a savior. He talking about Moses and Jesus. Right. That's why I prefer Moses. That's exactly why I prefer Moses, because he was a murderer. Because our oppressors historically are violent, aggressive, and psychologically ahead of us. So we don't need somebody that's on some we shall overcome, kumbaya, let's have a march and chant the same words over and over while whoever got done wrong just go into the ground and don't nobody got an answer for that. When Moses was around, it was very much an eye for an eye. You feel me? If Moses was stepping to Pharaoh on some, you gonna comply with what I'm talking about, or it's gonna be problems. And I'm gonna come back, and if you don't comply, it's gonna be more problems. And the problem's gonna continuously get more severe until you come to God. You feel me? Because it wasn't no Jesus back then when Moses was stepping. Until you understand what's going on here, I'm gonna keep coming back with ramifications for your lack of obedience. You know what I'm saying? Or for your lack of submission in regards to these slaves. Let my people go or else is what it was with Moses. There was none of that with Jesus. No disrespect to Jesus, but Jesus and Moses stepped 2 different ways. David stepped totally different from how Jesus was stepping. That's why didn't nobody play with them in the Old Testament like that. They wasn't playing with them. Like once Moses got them people free from Pharaoh, how many more people tried Moses? The people themselves needed taming. Right, the golden calf and all that, but how many other kings or whatever the case was like, yeah, we finna, you know what I mean, we gonna re-enslave these, man, nobody messed with them after that, bro. They heard about what Moses had going on, they left them people alone. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no, yeah, we can't get left alone. You know why? Because Jesus took that butt whooping, got up on the cross, and then prayed for the people that whooped him. So let me know how that's going to get you out of oppression. No disrespect to Jesus. The story went how it went. I'm just detailing the story, and I'm putting it in layman's terms for y'all. Jesus came, had a whole bunch of good stuff to say. Let's call him a high-level philosopher, right? He had a whole lot of great advice for people for life. Okay, cool. Then he got pretty much whooped for being lit out here, right? He was too lit and too conscious. He was spreading consciousness, right? So he was a political martyr. Cool. But when they went to go martyr him, they had guns. Back in the day, swords were the guns. I'm bringing everything to today's times for y'all. Jesus, in the word, Jesus told the disciples to take up swords, to take up weapons. So they had the blicks on them, the ancient blicks, right? When them folks came to go get Jesus from out the garden on the mountain or whatever the case may be, Jesus had to tell them not to fight because they had the guns. They had what we call guns now were swords. They had weapons. They had to tell them chill. That's why Peter sliced dude's ear off, because they was with it. The disciples were with it. Nowhere in the word was Jesus with it. The disciples was with it though. And he told them chill. I'ma just go with them. Went with them, took the butt whooping, got on the cross and was like, forget them, Lord. They know not what they do. His actions are a recipe to remain oppressed. The day that you start saying, forgive my oppressor, for they know not what they do, instead of let my people go or else, those are two stark differences in leaders. Give me Moses. I'm not running with you. You ever play for a head coach you don't want to follow, Souls?
Big fact.
I don't like his starting lineups. I don't like his game planning. I don't like nothing this dude got going on. I don't want to follow him. His philosophies for coaching might work for somebody, not me. You see what I'm saying? That's how I feel about Moses and David and Samson. Like, they was stepping. There was repercussions for playing with them. The reason why the oppressed people of the world, regardless of whether you call them Black, African, Asian, 97% of the landmass has been colonized. So oppressed people look every color, right? The reason why the oppressed people of the world remain oppressed is because they have Jesus energy and not Moses energy. That's a fact. If everybody who believe in Jesus woke up thinking, believing in Moses the same way, we'll really make something shake.
Yeah,
it'll be a guarantee because it's gonna be a or else. Give me the killer. Give me the killer.
And it's a lot here, man. I can't wait till next Sunday. It's a lot here because, like, even here, Plug said if what we speak on here is true. And I always said, and I don't know if Classic said it, but I always said it on here. There's no such thing as a Christian. None of us are Christ-like. And that's why I always tell people, get you a coordinates. Like, that's why I don't speak and proclaim to be a Christian. None of us, we're striving to be Christians, but no one is a Christian. That's meanings that you're a Christ-like. None of us are Christ-like. We all have moments where we're not perfect, that we're not good. And you also have to debunk this. The region that he was supposedly born in, the climates wouldn't allow. That's not true, y'all. And just because you're born somewhere, Jesus walked to multiple areas of the country. And I'm looking it up here. Like, he went to Judah, which is in Bethlehem and Jerusalem. He went to Galilee. He went to multiple climates. He went to places, even the Judean desert is where it's extremely hot summers. So you were telling me a white person couldn't get tanned and bronzed through walking through sun? There were no sunscreen in those times. Like, we just say things because we heard it from somebody or we want to be right. I'm more about find the facts. And at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter if he's white or black. If at the end of the day, if that's who you're following, you're idolizing Jesus. You're idolizing a man.
Yes, it's
idolatry. So at the end of the day, you could pick a side. Like, I feel like a lot of these debates we have just to make your point right or feel good about what. No, bruh. If you say you believe in Jesus, you believe in Jesus. Nobody's gonna judge you because he was white or if he was black.
I believe he was here. I'm just not putting all that gas on him. I think he was just like the rest of us. I don't think Jesus was no more or less of a man than me. He was just lit. That's it, bro. I think we would do better focusing on the Jesuses of today. It's a man named Louis Farrakhan that none of y'all listen to, who giving y'all the same principles. You know what I'm saying? And as far as what you said, Souls, before we respond to James, as far as what you said about being Christ-like, right? I don't desire to be Christ-like. I don't like what he was like. Christ consciousness is a metaphysical and spiritual concept describing a state of higher awareness, unconditional love, and oneness with the divine. It signifies moving beyond the ego and realizing one's inherent spiritual nature. So this right here, where it says unconditional love, I don't have that. So I don't desire to be Christ-like.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't
That's
even
what I
desire.
said. Nobody, and that's what I'm saying. Nobody reads that, right? There's none of us are. Like you might, you said you don't desire to, but even the people who desire to, you can't be one. Like you will never. The Bible, if you believe in the word, the Bible was built for you never to be good enough. Think about that, y'all. You were never going to be good enough. Like, period. He even tells you every day to like every day is a day of renewal. Like he knows that you're not going to live up to these things. You know what I mean? And we apologize for some of y'all that we're missing. But some great conversation here in the chat. He was saying
he trying to say that Jesus. He said Jesus was in the New and the Old Testament. It don't matter what testament he was in. He didn't do no stepping. No stepping.
What was Jesus? What was Jesus in the Old Testament, James?
I don't think he was in there. His story started in Matthew's.
Yeah, where was he? They spoke of him in the Old Testament, saying that they will birth a child and he will bruise the heel. He will step on the devil and bruise the heel.
I'm not buying it. Maybe it's the Chicago in me, bro. But anytime, as soon as they told me soon as I got old enough to read the word for myself and I realized exactly who Mary Magdalene was, I'm like, man, this nigga was a nigga, bro. Come on, soul, stop, bro. You got a dude going around from town to town with one bad chick that's from the brothel and 12 dudes holding him down. What you think? Who you think that chick is to him? His secretary? What the CEOs be doing with the secretary, folks? Why do the CEOs even hire that secretary? Secretary don't even be qualified. The C in secretary should be an X. Secretary. We know what it's. Come on, folks. Stop it, bro. Like when I read the word, bro, I read it exactly through all the BS. I'm like, this dude was just like us, bro. He had a little piece with him. You know what I'm saying? He had the blicks. Yeah, come on, folks. And he knew how to turn water into wine. I wouldn't be surprised if he smoked the burning bush. You know what I'm saying? Jesus was a nigga, man. This nigga was a nigga, bro. But he didn't do no stepping. That ain't scriptural. It ain't no scriptures in there with Jesus stepped. The most active Jesus got was he flipped some tables. I ain't buying it, folks. Y'all can miss me, folks. Y'all can miss me. I'm going to war with Moses. I'm cool. He is not my leader, folks. I'm not gassing Jesus, gang. I'm not. Y'all not gonna catch me gassing him. I ain't got no smoke with him, but I'm not gassing him like that. Y'all really praying to a man. Imagine 600 years from now, somebody wrote about your legacy so profoundly that niggas is praying to James. Lord James, Father, James was God, because niggas wrote so well about you 600 or 1,000 years ago. You got people 1,000 years in the future praying to you like you some magic nigga. You just like the rest of us, bro. Like I ain't going for that, folks. I ain't going for that, folks. He said, there's no stop it, classic. No, man, prove something. Give me some evidence give me book, chapter, and verse. I'm asking all of y'all, go to y'all words and give me book, chapter, and verse when Jesus stepped on something. The most active he got was flipping tables, gang. That's it, bro. David went to wars. Moses stepped to Pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? Samson took everybody who beefed with him when he died. These are the people I'm following, folks. Real crash outs. That's how you get free from tyranny and oppression. You crash out. People got to die on both sides. That's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Haiti didn't get their freedom without no bloodshed. Y'all just don't want to go through what you got to go through to get true salvation. Yeah, y'all willing to give yourselves up on the metaphorical cross before y'all really step onto the battlefield. And that's what they taught you. Why you think all of y'all black folk, and I'm gonna narrow this down to black people because white people don't read the Bible the same. We studied that. White people don't study the Bible the same as us. So I'm gonna narrow this down to black people. Why do you think y'all black behinds, out of all the people in the Bible, all niggas talk about is Jesus? Jesus. Why y'all think that is? Do you think it's a coincidence? No, there's reasons for it. I'm gonna tell you why, because I actually evangelized before. This is what y'all don't know. I'm educated, bro. I evangelized for a window of time in my life. I was an evangelist. I traveled like Jesus, church to church, round far and wide, yonder. I seen it all. I seen radical churches, people spinning in circles and running around, sprinting. I seen the churches where everybody it's very routine. You know what I'm saying? Everything is orderly. I seen it all, folks. I seen it all, bro. All nigga churches is just Jesus, 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 Jesus. Why do y'all think that is? I'm gonna tell you why. Because that's who they sold you. When Christianity was introduced to Negroes in this part of the world, there was a slave Bible. The slave Bible was derived mostly of the New Testament. The New Testament, at least the first 5 books, the gospel is what they call it, is full of Jesus, 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 Jesus. And that's why y'all look to Jesus instead of looking to all the other spiritual tools that are in the word. That's it. That's it. That's it. And the reason why is because his story is unique to the rest of them, because he went out. And I'm going to say this my way, souls. You're not responsible for this, but he went out like a hoe. And y'all excuse it because y'all say it was the prophecy. Jesus could have did it all that, but he wanted to live out the prophecy. No, sir. He went out like a hoe. Samson, the same God. No, because I'm coming from the word, and James ain't dropped the scripture yet. Nobody in here dropping scriptures. Drop scriptures. Samson prayed to the same God Jesus was talking to. Jesus was on the cross like this. Right? Follow me, souls. Please let me cook. Jesus was on the cross like this, right? He was crucified like this on the cross. Samson in the the Old Testament, he was tied to 2 pillars like this. He wasn't on the cross, but he was in the same position. He was tied like this, a pillar on this side and a pillar on this side. He was tied to them both. Let me know when I misquote the Lord's scripture, right? Samson prayed to the same God Jesus was talking to. And he said, Lord, give me the strength for one more mighty blow. And Samson used the last bit of strength and the consent of the Lord and took all his enemies with him when he died. He crashed out with the Lord's blessing. The same God. Jesus talked to him and was like, forgive them, Lord. They know not what they do. That will keep you oppressed, sir. That will keep you oppressed, sir. Tell me I'm freaking lying. Exercise your common sense and tell me I'm lying. One of them, people don't want to fuck with. That's Samson. The other one, oh yeah, we can oppress them we can oppress them infinitely. If we can teach them to take our beatings and pray for us, we can oppress them infinitely. We can give them lashes metaphorically, mentally, physically, infinitely. We can George Floyd them all we want. We can Carmelo Anthony them all we want. We can do whatever we want, and they will pray for us at the end of the day. That is an oppressor's dream, gang. I'll tell you what, since Jesus is the answer, why he ain't worked yet? Let's get like that. Why he ain't worked yet? Why it ain't worked yet? What the great poet Lauryn Hill once said, it ain't working. It ain't working. It's not working. Why it didn't work yet? I never seen some shit that worked and it take 5,000 years. Never seen it. Never seen it. Never seen it. Why it's not working? Why it's not working? Why we ain't take that thing back yet? Why we ain't, yeah, this was our world, right? Black was first. We had dominion over the earth. Why we ain't take it back? Jesus.
Classy said he ain't taking no more of them shots for boots.
Yeah. Come on, man.
He coming back.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
He said it's an undercover boss. Yeah, I think it's very unique, man. Classic cooking, man, and I think it's very unique because some of the stuff y'all say, I be just kind of almost dumbfounded, like because some of y'all are almost taking away the value of the New Testament. Like when you think about y'all speaking about Jesus already being here somehow in a spirit. Well, it takes away the Holy Ghost and the Holy Spirit that came back in the New Testament once he passed away. Like y'all are kind of taken away. Like I seen that Petty Roosevelt asked about Meshach, and Abednego. I remember them 3 walking in the fire because I had to play them at an Easter play. So, but I don't think that was Jesus walking with them. I just think if you believed in God, God was very powerful, right? That means God just created a shield around them. Like we know that he was the creator of all things. Like he was in there walking with them. I don't know how we can depict and put Jesus somewhere he wasn't. Like, I don't know how you do, like, I don't know how you read the Bible and do that. Like I don't know how you take the Old Testament and say that was Jesus when they're telling you there were a lot of stories that spoke about what it would look like once Jesus comes, and there was a lot of different things that happened that would have made like almost depictions of it. But I don't know where y'all get that Jesus was in the Old Testament.
Yeah,
You got to show me. You got to show me that. He said, but nobody. And see, James, I know you only started watching because Classic came on, but I talked about the Old Testament for 30 minutes. I never ignored the Old Testament because I spoke about. That's why everybody. Because somebody came into the chat earlier speaking about the law. And if we were under the Mosaic law, we wouldn't even be having these conversations today. That's really what Classic is telling y'all. Like the things that happened in the time of Moses and Mosaic law, it stood on business. Like those, like the Old Testament stood on business. That's why you seen Solomon and Gomorrah get tore down and like it stood on business. Like that's what he's trying to say. I don't know how y'all get these elaborate thought processes of what y'all are hearing. Like he's literally telling you, hey, I'm choosing Moses because Moses was what I feel we should be today if we don't want to experience oppression. And Moses was under the Mosaic law.
Yes.
Like, I don't know how y'all are missing this, or I don't know if you just I guess it's for content, I guess. I don't know.
Here's the thing about James. He ain't dropped no book, chapter, and verse yet, which is getting scary to me because to be so passionate, you should know your word. Drop some book, chapter, and verse to dispute what I'm saying because he's saying it's my opinion. I literally just gave you scriptural context. Was Samson, James, yes or no? Was Samson and Jesus talking to two different gods? On their dying breaths, they both were in a crucifix position, right? They both were arms spread and bound. Were they talking to two different gods? He said no. Okay, so the same God that Samson asked for some strength from, and God knows our hearts, right, souls? Isn't that what they tell us? God knows our heart. So when Samson asked God for enough strength for one more blow, would you say, based on what we understand, that God knew Samson's intention, souls?
Oh, yeah.
You think he knew Samson's intention? Samson finna take everybody up out of here.
Yeah. He actually
and he granted him the strength. Did he not? Is it not scriptural, souls? Souls, let me know when I start misquoting scripture. Please let me know when I misquote scripture. He spoke to the same God on his deathbed as Jesus. He decided to take the ops with him. Jesus said, forgive him. Jesus is the one y'all follow, and that's why we remain oppressed. I'm not preaching that Jesus was a bad person. I'm saying that he was soft. He wasn't stepping. And if you want to get out from oppressed, to be oppressed biblically, this is scriptural. Slaves and women were the spoils of war. To enslave your people, they had to defeat you first. Today, you're born slaves because they have mentally defeated you. God forgave who?
He said, forgive you.
I don't want it. I don't want it. God, hold me accountable, folks. I don't want what you talk, hold me accountable for.
Hey guys, I'm gonna export this chat today, and we're gonna have a whole show next Sunday about what y'all are saying, what y'all are asking in the chat. He said Moses was defeated first by that logic.
Book, chapter, and verse.
So let me ask you this. Was Moses actually defeated because Moses didn't die?
Book, chapter, and verse. Right. He was born a slave and he died what? Or he transcended. No, please put that back. Put that back. Book, chapter, and verse. Moses was born a slave. First off, that's not true. But okay. But yeah, because Moses was kind of caught in between. He damn near grew up in the palace, but that's a different conversation. But you're saying Moses was born a slave. Okay, we'll roll with that. Did he transcend as a slave or was he a free man? Go ahead, Devereaux. Did Moses, if he was born a slave, when he passed on, when he transitioned into heaven, was he still a slave? No, right? He got free, right? Because he was under Mosaic law and because he was stepping to the oppressor. So born a slave, died a free man. That is the recipe, ladies and gentlemen, to your salvation.
And y'all got to remember,
How
Jesus
are
spoke
you
with,
arguing with that?
yeah, Jesus. Y'all remember when Jesus went on the mount, he spoke to Moses and Elijah.
James, book, chapter, and verse, bro. This y'all opinion. This is crazy. No scriptures. No scriptures. No scriptures. Book, chapter, and verse. I'm coming out the word. I'm coming straight out the word. It's not my opinion.
I'm gonna get it, Petty. I'm gonna pull it up. He said Genesis 16:7. I got you. He
Hey,
said
what
16:7.
if it's in the Old Testament? I'm with it. Hey, look, was so is the God in the Old Testament and the God in the New Testament two different niggas? Is it two different gods?
So I'm gonna read it to you.
Samson, David, the same God that gave David the power in the sling to get Goliath up out of here. That's the same God, right? In the Old Testament, God was green lighting, stepping. David prayed before he went to go fight
He
Goliath.
said, "You ain't read it clear enough."
I read
That's
the
why we
whole
here to
thing
have
more than once. I know exactly what I'm talking about. And
He
everybody
said
else who
Jesus
read it
was
agree
in
with
the
me.
burning. He said Jesus was in the burning
All right,
bush.
bet. Listen, that's not scriptural, but okay, let's put Jesus in the burning bush. So what? What's the point? So what? Let's throw him in there. It's not scriptural, but let's throw Jesus in the burning bush. So what? First off, it's impossible. The burning bush is in Exodus. Jesus comes in Matthew's. So how he feeling that year? How he wasn't even born. Mary wasn't even here. His grandma wasn't even here. So how's that even possible? See what I'm saying? People just be saying shit. I'm cursing on Sunday. People just be saying shit, so
This is Genesis 6. We're gonna read these scriptures real quick. He said Genesis 6:17. This is the King James version. It says, "And the angel of the Lord found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way of Shur." Let me keep reading. And he said, Hagar, Sarai maid, whence come thou, and whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress, Sarah. Genesis 16:9, and the angel of the Lord said unto her, return thy mistress and submit thyself under her hands. Verse 10 said, and the angel of the Lord said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. So that's when he's talking about the her having the baby. He said, the angel of the Lord said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, and it shall not be numbered for multitude.
what was the point of us reading that?
I think I don't know if he's getting scriptures for his part. Is this Genesis again? Is this Genesis 22:11?
What is he driving home with these? What are we reading these for?
I don't
Like
know.
what's the point behind it? I'm saying, like, what's the message? What are he trying to get to?
Let us know, Petty, what you're getting to, because this is Genesis 22:11. It says, the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, here am I.
Yeah, that's idolatry, James. You just talking about idolatry by definition. He's saying that Jesus was in the burning bush in spirit. So you're referring to the Holy Spirit. So that's not Jesus. That's the Holy Spirit. Jesus was the man, right? So if water is evaporating, we're not going to call it precipitation. We're going to call it evaporation, right? If water is condensing, we're going to call it condensation. We're not going to call it precipitation. So if you believe in the Holy Trinity, then we would do Jesus is the physical man form of that, right? His ass wasn't here. When the burning bush was going on, the physical man form of God as you believe it to be, he wasn't here. He wasn't here. And I don't believe that. I don't believe that Jesus was a demigod. Okay, put it like this. Jesus was just as much God as I am.
Oh, this is what he was showing us Christ's appearances. Oh, you talking about Christ. Okay. So that's Petty, he having a totally different conversation than James. Y'all having two different conversations.
Yeah, these people, Sarah just said Jesus has always been. That's not a human. You see what I'm saying, Souls? That's why I can't have these. It's not that I want to be right, but some things be literally incorrect. That's not a human. No human has always been. Show me one human that been here forever.
I'm gonna
How has a human always been? No. How has a human always been? We know the date. We know how old he was when he died, but y'all telling me he was always here.
Oh, so this is what he's interpreting it as. He said, no, Jesus is God. That's how he always been.
Idolatry.
He said Trinity,
hey,
not
look,
biblical.
until yeah, the Trinity's not biblical. But listen, until somebody can prove it, which you can't, because faith is literally believing in what you can't prove. But until somebody can prove to me that man was more than a man, which you can't prove because he gone, and they told us he was coming back, and he ain't back. He late, over late, slavery didn't pass, all type of stuff didn't pass. I've seen so many people die calling Jesus and he ain't answer the phone. You know what I'm saying? Jesus been on do not disturb for the better part of 600 years. And y'all love this nigga to death. You know what I'm saying? But you got a cousin that been wanting to talk to you for 6 months and he can't get a hold of you. So anyway, that's what I'm saying. People be worried about the wrong stuff. But prove to me that this man was more than a man, and then I'm going to roll with it. Until then, I'm going to err on the side of caution. I'm not gassing no man to that level. I will say that you was great. I revere many men. I revere Nipsey Hussle. I revere Martin Luther King. I revere Farrakhan. I revere many men. But to idolize, I'm not crossing over there. And these are men, the men that I revere, I could have met them. Farrakhan's still alive. I can go give Farrakhan a hug if I get close enough. I can give him a hug, right? He's here. He's here. I can vouch. I can speak on his life. I can tell you about his speeches. I was present for his existence. Now, if I showed up post Farrakhan and all I have is stories and tales about Farrakhan, that's all I can go off of. But to live my whole life like I know something is crazy to me. It is best for people to acknowledge what you cannot prove, what you do not know, and lean into something that is solid, not mythological. You know what I'm saying? That's essentially what you're doing is leaning into something mythological. If I'm going to lean into something mythological, I'm going to lean into something that's going to be beneficial to my people in mass. Most people in America is a Christian nation. Is it not, Souls?
Yeah.
Right now, has Muslim taken over as more than 50% of the population religion, or are we still majority a Christian country?
I think majority Christian.
We're still majority Christian. Why hasn't the Jesus juice worked yet? Okay.
I can tell you why nothing ain't work. Because I think this is the issue too. Because Jane, you said we can have the conversations. I think the conversations have to be had with facts. Like nobody's here. Like we're sitting up here providing more outside of petty. We're providing more. And if y'all were here at the beginning, I provided over 10 different scriptures. Like we're providing more factual information than you guys are putting more of your opinion on it. If you don't come with facts, of course you can't have the conversation. And then even this, you can't say Classic don't believe, because Classic just told you at the very beginning when he first stepped on the stage this afternoon that he believes in God. He's just letting y'all know that like he's not worshiping Jesus.
No, it's
like,
a man.
Like and that's what's so funny. Like we hear so selective, and that's why people don't want to go to the church. Because if we can't have these type of dialogues, because we all could be wrong. Technically, we all could be wrong. We all could be wrong.
No,
I'm
right.
Know, right.
No, I'm right. I'm right. No, I'm not wrong. Souls, I'm right. No, I'm right. I am factually right. Jesus has not worked yet. I'm right.
Oh, that's
my total umbrella of what I'm saying is Jesus ain't working. I'm right. Are we still oppressed?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so Jesus ain't working. I'm absolutely right. And I'm results based. You can preach to me all day. What's the finish line? Where has it gotten us? All the shucking and jiving, all the speaking in tongues, I've been baptized 3 times. And I'm still gonna go have sex. It ain't working. Jesus ain't working, folk. It ain't working, folk. You know who I follow? Real niggas. You know who? David, imperfect. Moses, imperfect. Samson, imperfect. The men in the Old Testament, they were regular, everyday men. Regular, everyday men. Am I right, Souls? These men were great men, but they had their flaws. Their flaws were written about. You see what I'm saying? They weren't perceived to be perfect. They was like me and you. You know what I'm saying? Samson, strongest man in the world, but he had a thing for the hoes, boy. Samson stayed in them brothels, didn't he? In the scripture. In the scripture, the Bible tell you about it. Samson loved them women, bro. He crashed out about them women. A woman ultimately was his demise, but he still went out like a gangster when he had to go out. You know what I'm saying? Moses, on the other hand, same thing, bro. Moses was spiritually violent, similar to the way people who practice voodoo were when they had to fight for their freedom in Haiti. You know what I'm saying? They were spiritually violent. Moses was spiritually violent. Sending a plague, that's spiritual violence. right? Jesus came with no or else, bruh. If you don't have an or else against a violent oppressor, you will remain oppressed. What is false about what I'm saying? Has Jesus worked yet? Are you still oppressed, my nigga? When you go to job, you get paid a certain amount. Before you touch your money, they've made 5 deductions on your money. Then when you go to the store, before you purchase what you want, they're going to put more tax on top of that. When you go buy your property, they're going to tax your property. When you pay off your property, if you do not continue to pay tax on your property, they will put you off the property that you have already paid for. It is never your property. You can't even own anything in the land that you live in, yet you're telling me that we are not oppressed. Everybody here is oppressed, gang. So don't tell me that it's working. Jesus ain't worked. He told us he was coming back. His ass ain't came back yet. He prayed for the niggas that beat his ass. And y'all telling me that this is the person to follow, G. Y'all follow him. It's not working. It's not working. And then look, y'all doing all of this stuff, turning down sex, doing this, doing that. Also, you can go get in the kingdom. I don't listen. If Jesus is the one that's up there and that's the people that's up there, I don't want to go up there with him. Put me around all the real niggas. Wherever David and them at, wherever Samson went, when he died, wherever Samson went, wherever David went, wherever Moses went, send me to the real nigga section. Don't send wherever they went, bro. If they went to Hades, send me to Hades. If they went to heaven, send me to heaven. Where all the real niggas go, that's where I want to go. I don't want to go where Jesus went, bro. He not my type of people. I would have never been a disciple. I don't blame Peter at all. When he was like, you will deny me 3 times before the rooster crows, or whatever he told Peter, right? Ain't that what he told Peter? You gonna deny me 3 times? Yeah. Peter, hey, G, if I'm Peter, I'm denying you too, bro. These people came up here to take you and beat your ass and kill you, and I tried to fight for you, and you told me to stop. So when they like, hey, man, wasn't you with him? No. No, I'm not dying with him. I just tried to die with you up there on the mountain. When we was in the garden, I tried to die with you. When they came to get you, I was ready to die with you. You told me to stop. So yes, I'm finna deny you. I don't blame Peter at all. What is you talking about? Souls, if you try to defend me and I'm like, nah, Souls, let them kill me. When they try to kill you with me, is you gonna go? No, yeah, Peter ain't do shit wrong. Peter ain't do nothing wrong, folks. Man, I ain't with him. He told me don't step. I ain't stepping. I'm being obedient. He told me don't step. I ain't stepping. Tell me something I said biblically wrong. That's what I'm saying, folks. Don't until you gonna come out the word and tell me what I said wrong about what's in the word. Y'all just never heard the Bible broken down this way before. Was Samson talking to the same God as Jesus? Yes. Was David talking to the same God as Jesus? Yes. Was Moses talking to the same God as Jesus? Yes. These men prayed for strength to go handle business. Jesus prayed for forgiveness for the niggas that put him on the cross. It's two different mentalities. The mentality of one has you here because most people are Christian. There's the numbers. Please put the numbers back up, souls. There are the numbers. Most of us are Christian. Why it ain't working? Why you still oppressed? No, don't tell me it's crazy. What's crazy is you still oppressed because y'all ain't ready to go die about nothing. That's what's crazy. The craziness is how much we all getting taxed. That's what's crazy. Gas prices is crazy. Yeah, that's what's crazy. 40-hour work weeks. That's what's crazy. The fact that you live at your job and take a long lunch break at your house. That's what's crazy. But it ain't slavery though. And then you got to promise. Listen, bro, it's niggas right now that's grown men that's still mad at their dad because when their dad was 6 years old, he said he was coming to pick them up and he never came. It's grown men still suffering from that trauma. Jesus told us he was coming 600 years ago. Where you at? Kunta, Harriet Tubman, we all was waiting on you, nigga. I'm trying to hear this shit, man. Come on, souls. Get me up out of here, souls. You got a sports show to do. Get me up out of here, man. Trying to hear this, nigga. Where you was at? When Harriet Tubman was going to do it, where you was at, nigga? Where you was at, bro? When Kunta, he said, what is your name? When they was putting them lashes on Kunta, bro. When they was putting us up on trees and cutting our balls off and putting them in our mouth, where you was at, folks? You said you was coming back. You never showed up. Nigga, I got trauma. Jesus is the absentee father, nigga. Fuck out of here. He the only nigga in the Bible said he was coming back. Nobody else told us they was coming back, bro. Moses ain't say he was coming back. We ain't got no expectations. Moses told us he wasn't coming to pick us up. Samson ain't tell us he was coming back. David ain't tell us he was coming back. This the only nigga told us he was coming back to do something. Nigga ain't came back yet. Every Christian hopping here every Sunday talking about, oh, the Lord gonna come back. Come on, nigga. We've been waiting on the curb. We've been waiting at the window with our book bag for the longest. Dad, pick me up. Fuck you talking about?
Hey, y'all.
No, what's crazy is that the bus ain't pulled up yet. Where you at?
Hey, what I'm gonna do?
And then what's wild is y'all love Jesus so much and y'all so Christian, but half of y'all scared of the return. Oh, you better get. Every time Christians talk about Jesus coming back, they sound scared as hell. Oh, you better get ready. If he come back, you supposed to be ready, ain't you? Supposed to be excited. You supposed to be excited.
She said, "Wow, there is no argument with this brother."
Yeah, bro, come back. Come back. Where you at? Come. You not ready? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm ready for all results. Come back. I just want to see it be real. Come back. Come back. I don't care if I'm going to heaven or hell. Just come back. I just want it to be real. Crack the sky right now. Crack it right now. You late. Whenever you get here, you late. So crack the sky right now.
Wait till I meet my peak of monetization, guys. Then we
Where you at?
Hey,
where you at?
Hey, y'all. I'm gonna do everybody a favor, man. StreamYard allows us to export the chat. I'm gonna export the chat, and we're gonna create our whole Sunday service next Sunday for me and Deacon Classic to come up here and to have the conversation. So everybody who's putting your opinions in the chat, make sure you come back next Sunday. Show up on time. Some of y'all was late for service. Service started at 11. Y'all come in the chat at 12:45. Make sure you show up on time, okay? We're going to be here at 11 a.m. next Sunday. We're going to come here and we're going to break down these topics. If you got in here late, make sure you catch the rewatch to hear how we got here to this conversation. It's a lot here, man. It's a lot here. So we appreciate everybody in the chat today. Y'all turned up in the chat today. And I'm going to tell y'all one thing, and I want y'all to remember this. Regardless of how you feel, right? If you are Christ-like or you say you're a Christian, all that you need help, bro, and all that stuff, that wouldn't be Christ-like. So a lot of times, instead of us judging people's opinion, provide the facts that people are asking for. That's all you got to do. Just provide the facts. And then if a person doesn't believe in those facts, we keep moving on. But I feel like we sit here and try to it's just weird when I watch the comments. Like I'm watching y'all. Like one dude was like, "Yeah, tell him to go to hell." Almost like, cool, okay, that's how you really. Cool. But that's how you would really feel. Like that's what I'm saying. Cool. Like
send me. I don't want to be. Hey, listen, bro. I don't want to be in heaven with you soft ass niggas. If hell is where the real niggas go, send me there, bro. Because I don't even believe in heaven and hell. So you good on that, bro? Listen. Souls, I'm not letting them off the hook. Souls, I know you being diplomatic. I'm not letting them off the hook. Somebody tell me how it's worked. I'm wrong, and y'all are right. Why isn't what you believe in working? Go. I'm wrong, y'all right. Jesus is Lord. Jesus is everything. He the ultimate nigga that ever existed. Why isn't it working? Go. And why is the white Christian experience different from the black Christian experience? Because your oppressors believe in Jesus too. Your oppressors believe in Jesus too. Go. It is working. Oh, if this is working, it's a fucked up plan, family of God. If this is what working looks like, then God is imperfect. If this is what working looks like, God is imperfect. What are you talking about? This is not working. Maybe my life is amazing. My life is amazing, but I'm still a slave. Yeah, you see how that works? My life is awesome, but I've found peace on the plantation. You're still a slave. Do you pay taxes? Can you own a piece of land? Own it outright? I put whatever I want here. It's mine. No, you cannot. Can you go wherever you want without documentation on this free world? Can you go wherever you want without documents? No, you cannot. You must get a document from the government. It has to be approved. It can be suspended whenever they want. You know what I'm saying? You can't just go to whatever country you want to. You can't, you're a slave. So yeah, tell me how it's working. My life is good. Yeah, but tell me you're not a slave and you're lying. So we are oppressed people. There's rich slaves. You have check-to-check millionaires in this country. What are you talking about? You're a slave. They rebranded it. You can always rebrand. They made slavery look different. Remove the change, take the brain. Simple plan. Tell me how Jesus has worked for you.
That's funny.
Thank you very much. Okay, so
that was the first question they asked me today was, what is the new slavery? I said they have enslaved our minds.
It's over with. They enslaved your mind with their religion. Yeah, that's where they started at. Why you think they pushed Christianity on you? While you guys are over here being super Christian, why don't you go study the history of the spread of Christianity across the lands and see how forcefully it was done in a lot of places? You see what I'm saying? So just, you had people believing in Valhalla before Christianity came. You had Vikings fighting with shield and sword to the death over disagreements. Shit used to be real Old Testament back in the day. Yeah. Yeah, they brought Christianity to make you guys civilized, but it also came to make you indefinitely oppressed, and it's working. It's working. The reason why it's working is because y'all think it ain't working. That's why it's working. They gave you the key to infinite oppression and sold it to you as the keys to freedom, and they done had us ever since. Not me, but y'all. And the reason why we'll never be free, because people like me speaking in plain English, telling you exactly what it is, it don't even register no more. The marinade done settled in, the saute done settled in, we done cooked it slow, the flavor done seeped in there. It's over with. The psyop is complete, folks. It's over with. Ain't no let my people go. These niggas is lost. You wait, think about it. As a grown adult, you waiting on a nigga to float out the sky. Miss me. Ha! Miss me. So's you a grown man waiting on a nigga to float out the sky to save your problems. Please. Please.
Hey, y'all, we're going to be back next Sunday. We're going to be back next Sunday. Y'all get a full hour of our boy.
I'm not
Deacon
everywhere.
Classic.
I'm not everywhere. You just can't hear me because you programmed. What I'm telling you is the truth ain't in no religious text. It ain't.
Hey, y'all, we going to get y'all next Sunday. When y'all leave here, I'll be on 1181 Pressure Plays in about 10 to 15 minutes, man, hitting the sports show. But yeah, we'll be over there, man. Deacon Classic has arrived. He has arrived, man. He's hot off the presses, man. But again, all pun intended, man. Make sure y'all catch Classic Code Sports, dog. Go over there to get the breakdown of last night's fight. So y'all can really see what happened there, man. He did a breakdown for 3.5 hours last night of all the fights. So y'all go catch him there. But y'all can go catch us. You can catch me on 1181 Pressure Plays from the Bayou to the Turf. We're going to be doing sports over there, man. But appreciate you, Deacon Classic, for coming in, man. We're going to have a great service next week. I'm telling y'all, I'm exporting this chat. So next week's topics will be exactly off of everything you guys are saying in the chat, and we'll have a conversation. James Holloman, have your best dress on. Family of God, I know you talked to me before. Make sure if you want to come up, we'll be on next Sunday as well. I know you was talking about a panel.
Yeah.
I don't think any of this is dangerous. I think we need to have the conversation.
No, I think they dangerous. We both dangerous. I think they dangerous. I think the way they talking is dangerous. I think we're gonna stay exactly where the hell we are, believing how they believe. I think they dangerous. They think I'm dangerous. I am dangerous. That's the thing. Y'all got me right. I'm dangerous. I'm dangerous. More of me's, we wouldn't be oppressed. I believe in staying dangerous, and so did Moses. Yeah. So I'm finna go pray for Jesus to come back, and I want y'all to have a great sports show. I want Jesus to come on back. They say he gonna fix everything. Send him back.
Yeah, so y'all have a good one, man. That's been Sunday service. We out.
Send him back.